welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. In today's video, we're going to be continuing Kill la Kill, The Web of Life, where Spider-Gwen was in Kill la Kill, Part 8. As always, if you're new to the channel or if you're a regular and like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. So when it comes to this series, along with many others, you could say that we're now entering into the end game phase of Phase 2, if you will. We're starting our final stories this week, along with continuing the progression of a few others that we have left here on the channel, and before long, we'll be reaching our end. In fact, with this series, following Part 8, there's only going to be 2 more parts left, and while I am debating whether or not I want to do both of them next week, I'm not ruling that possibility out, so you might get parts 9 and 10 next Tuesday, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, so please keep that in mind. I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported this video on the channel, along with many of our other stories, and I hope you'll continue to enjoy as we continue the stories of the Spider-Verse. Now anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's video, so as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hanoi Gene Academy would now become a battlefield, as the Elite Five, aided not only by Nudist Beach, but also by the Hand, working alongside the Spiders, would all battle against the possessed citizens who were being controlled by the Life Fibers, freeing as many of them as possible, the Elite Five in particular having their hands full as they battled against Nue. In the meanwhile, Gwen, Ryuko, and Satsuki would be battling against Raguya, as the 3 Spider Women would fight against the leader of Revok. Safe to say, Raguya was not entirely shocked by this betrayal. While she expected it to come in some way, shape, or form, she just didn't expect it to come so soon. Satsuki fighting with a passion and with a vitriol anger, mainly due to the fact that she had been holding this in her whole life, playing the long game, waiting for the right opportunity to eventually take her mother down, as Satsuki would reveal the truth about her past, the past of how she were nothing more but an experiment, and that the only reason she had been birthed was just for her potential with using life fibers, and the anger that she had towards her mother also stemmed from the fact that her newborn sister, whom she never got to know, had died long ago, apparently discarded by Raguya due to being a failed experiment in her eyes. Of course, Raguya would not easily be defeated, even having her head chopped off at one point, only for it to be revealed that her body was held together by life fiber, and as long as the thread that held her all in check was able to remain, then she could not easily be defeated. For Ikuro and for Samugu, as they battled alongside with the others, they soon saw that their advantage was starting to take a turn, that being in the form of the Covers, the army of life fiber beings that Raguya had on standby, which are now starting to descend, taking control of the citizens once more and turning the tide in battle. For now, the only thing they could do was try to plan their escape. However, Raguya wouldn't be done just yet, as she would take a hold of Ryuko, grabbing her and pulling out her heart, revealing the entanglement of life fiber around the organ. Raguya would smile. It seemed that in that old man's death, he had managed to try to get the slip over her one more time, but she knew that eventually all of his failures would come to roost. Of course, Ryuko wondered what she meant by this, but Raguya, with a sadistic smile, would reveal the truth, that Ryuko was her daughter, the daughter she thought she had lost. And, it's safe to say, her deceased husband had done a fine job. Even going under a new alias, a new name and face, it didn't change the fact that the man was good for one thing: making children with the exceptional skills of being able to use life fibers. Momentarily giving into blind rage, Satsuki would attempt to strike down her mother, only to have her Kamui Junketsu stripped from her as she was flung off, as if she weren't even much of a challenge or bother to begin with. Seeing that they didn't have many more options, as more and more of the covers were starting to take hold of many of these civilians and they were starting to lose ground, Satsuki would trigger the explosions that were placed all throughout the stadium in hopes of taking out her mother and the life fibers once and for all, while her, along with the members of the Elite Five, Nudist Beach, and others would attempt to make their retreat. However, one would not manage to make it out, that being Gwen Stacy, as in her attempt to escape, Ryugo had managed to capture her, and she had her own ideas. Despite having two disobedient daughters, perhaps she could find salvation in a new one. A month would pass by. Now the newly formed alliance of the Elite Five, along with Satsuki, as well as Nudist Beach along with the Hand, would be continuing tirelessly to come up with a rescue plan in order to get Gwen back. Of course, for Ryuko, she had been in a coma, still suffering under the stress of learning what she truly was. When she awoken, she was, safe to say, not in the best of mental states. She was disgusted by the truth, disgusted in who and what she truly was. Her friends would try to speak and calm her down, but they would be unable to do so. Instead, she would push them all away. Even Sinketsu, she would never wear him again. The only one that could speak to her was Satsuki. Satsuki taking time when everyone else had gone off to do other things, giving the two now newly united sisters privacy. Satsuki would enter into the room where Ryuko was. I thought I told you I didn't want anyone to come here. If you wish to throw me out, then do so with your own power. If you don't plan on fighting me, then I want you to sit and listen. And what exactly do I have to listen to? Look, just because we're sisters doesn't mean... I know. It doesn't mean that I can tell you anything. In fact, you probably have no reason to like me or to trust me. It's not like I'm angry at you or anything. I mean, you were only trying to buy as much time as you could. Although now that I think about it, it does make things a lot more clear. When it comes to fighting, you were always better than me, weren't you? You were just holding back. At any point in time, you could have easily have taken us out. Not necessarily. You transfers are a tenacious bunch. Truly. You're all the most stubborn people that I have ever met. You don't listen, you don't take orders, you do whatever you want, whenever you want. You cause ruckus and chaos wherever you go. And yet, even still, you had a will, a fighting spirit that's something even I can acknowledge. Your power is great. And don't sell yourself short. It wouldn't have taken you long. But I don't consider myself the superior. I would say you and I are equals. You actually think that? Well, I think I might hold the slight advantage. But right now, we have more pressing matters to attend to, such as your friend. Gwen, where is she? Mother has taken her. She what? Well, what are we doing here? We have to go find her. We have to get to her as soon as possible. We have been trying to come up with a way to penetrate her defenses in order to save your friend. However, you should recognize that that's a lot easier said than done. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, we have to get her back. I agree. And are you going to take Sinkets with you? Of course not. I can never... Before she could finish, though, Satsuki would slap her in the face. Oh, what was that for? And then another slap would be given. Ryuko would respond by giving Satsuki a slap, only to be met with another slap of her own. The slap-off would continue for a good while until both girls were fired up. If you're looking for a fight so bad, then all you had to do was say so. I don't care if you and I are like newly found sisters. I'll kick your ass any day. And I feel exactly the same way. Whenever you want to fight, I'm more than eager. But you'll never get where you are now by limiting yourself. Whatever you think you are, then you need to block it out. In the end of the day, you are Ryuko Matoi. You and Sinkets are one. He was built, made specifically for you. That's not the point. In the end, I'm not even... You are Ryuko Matoi, are you not? You are friends with Hobie Brown, Gwen Stacy, Mako Mankangsho. You are Spider-Woman. Yeah. And Sinkets, what is he to you? He's my friend. Then tell me, would you just so carelessly abandon your friend when you know for a fact that your friend won't abandon you? I mean, of course not. I thought so. Did you catch all of that, Sinkets? Sinkets would then appear from under Satsuki's clothing, now standing, well, as best clothes could, before Ryuko. Sinkets, Ryuko, it's okay. No matter what happens, we can fight together. It's why I was made. I was made to be warned by you and only you. Together we can stop Ryugo. We can save the world. You're right. Sinkets, let's do this. In the meanwhile, inside of a prison cell, Gwen was being kept under wraps. There had been multiple attempts to try to break her, to try to sway her. That was until finally Ryugo would go and speak to the girl herself. Gwen hadn't said anything. In fact, she wondered why out of all of them, she was the one that was captured. But Raguyo would show her true hand. She walked into the cell and smiled happily as she paced herself around Gwen, who was strung up by chains, holding her suspended in the air. Gwen Stacy, I must say, you are truly a fine specimen, fine indeed. What do you want with me? I'm not even your... Now, my child. I believe that we are all children under the fineness of clothing. I haven't come here to fight you. I've only come here to help you. I want you to see that we aren't as bad as your friends are making us out to be. Bad? You're going to destroy the world. Yes, but in the end, not everything. Think about it. We live in a world where the pigs and the dredge of society live on without any care. Do you think the common criminal deserves to live? The corrupt politician? Those who commit evil and vile acts? I mean, you'll say that it's not your place to decide, but society says different. We only wish to take away the swine of the world. There's no reason for the weeds to grow with the roses now, is there? You must separate the wheat from the chaff. That's all we are attempting to do, and you can be a part of those that survive. I can give you everything you've ever wanted. I can give you what you've lost. What? What could you possibly give me? I'm so glad you asked. The door would open as two figures walked inside. They were the silhouettes, an older man and a young man. A young man that appeared to be around the same age as Gwen. The man was dressed in a suit blue and red. "Hey, Gwen," the young boy said, with round lens glasses on his face. "Hey there, baby girl." Gwen could almost feel herself being moved to tears. "No. How could this... Dad? Peter?" Life fibers can do amazing things. As long as you have the DNA of those who were once lost, they can be returned. I present to you your father, Captain Stacy, and your friend, Peter Parker. Gwen would be freed from her restraints. She was scared, but at the same time, she couldn't help but run towards them. She held them both in her arms as she began to cry uncontrollably. The two people she thought she'd never see again, and they were here. But how? How could she know this wasn't a trick? How could she know that this was really them? She would ask them both questions, many questions. Questions that she knew for a fact that only they could answer. And to her surprise, they answered every one of them correctly. No, this wasn't pretend. This was really her father. This was really Peter. They were alive. I don't know what to say. My child, I only wish to give people who are deserving the very best. I give you your father, your best friend. They are alive and well as you are now. You hold them. You feel their hearts beating. They are real. But now, you must do something for me. Meanwhile, back on the warship that was held by Nudist Beach, Ryuko and the others would begin preparing to mount their assault. Their operation was simple: to get Gwen back by any means necessary. Of course, everyone was already in preparation for what was to come. The next battle was probably going to be the last, and the fiercest that they'd ever had to experience. Of course, no matter what happened, this would be the fight for humanity. "We have to get her back," Ryuko would say. "Well, no duh," Hobie would remark. "I ain't gonna let them keep her for a moment longer. The second we touch down, we're going to get her back." Everyone would look up to the sky, though, as they could see something was beginning to fall. At first, they couldn't tell what it was. It looked like something like miniature parachutes. made out of webbing. It was then that they noticed they were spiders. Little white spiders. The spiders would land on the ship, the Naked Soul. And as the spiders descended and touched down, Mako would reach up to grab one. Ooh, look, a spider. Wait, Mako, don't touch! An explosion could then be heard immediately. Mako's face would be covered in soot as she opened her eyes. Wow, that definitely stings. Everyone take cover, Ikaro would yell. As the spiders descended and multiple explosions began to occur all at once. At the deck of the ship, Ryuko, Satsuki, Hobi, and Mako, along with the Elite Five, would all stand ready for battle, Sumugu joining the fray, as there were 3 individuals standing before them. Ooh, this looks like fun! Does this mean we get to play again? Nue, Satsuki would say. Hey there, Satsuki. It's been a while. Ooh, guess what? You're not under your mother's protection anymore. Even though I'm not allowed to kill you, she said I could hurt you really badly. So that means you and I get to play a lot more together. Isn't it exciting? Nue would pull out her purple scissor blade. I've been waiting so long to do this. I hope you last a lot longer than your daddy did. Ooh, you too, Mahotoi. I want some of you also. And others, don't feel bad. I brought my friends here. Say hello to Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker. And someone you all know very well. A drum roll, please. Introducing Ghost Spider-Gwen Stacy. Gwen would now appear before them. She had been given Junkets to amplify her strength. Gwen? Ryuko would say. Is it really you? Come on, what's going on? Gwen? Both Gwen and Peter would stand beside Nue. Okay, guys, you have your orders. Capture the Master's 2 disobedient daughters. And as for everyone else, if you can't capture them, kill them. This concludes Kill la Kill: The Web of Life. What if Spider-Gwen was in Kill la Kill Part 8? As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned later on this evening as we will be starting our first of a 4-part mini-series here on the channel, that being Inuyashiki, The Last Web of Hope. What if Ichiro was Cyborg Spider-Man? Part 1. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we begin another new series here on the channel, Eminence in Shadow, The Shadow's Web. What if Sid Kagano was Spider-Man? Season 1, Part 1. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.